We've all gotten guidance before. Maybe it was in a dream. Maybe you're using tarot cards or oracle cards, or maybe you just had an aha moment or some other way of getting guidance. But here's the question that many of us have, and that is, who's really talking to me? Is it my angels? Is it my spirit guides? Is it my higher self? Is it my Uncle Fred? Who is this sending me this sign, this feather that I found, this coin that I found? When I see repeating numbers, is that from my spirit guides? Is that from my higher self? Is that from angels? Who is talking to me, right? Let's get into it. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a spiritual way shower, and I'm here to help you get the most out of your human incarnation, right? So let me just tell you that if you're new here, thank you for joining me. I'm kind of known for talking to my spirit guides. I tend to talk to them as if they're right here in the room with me because, well, they are. But, that's not for everybody. Some people tend to gravitate towards angelic energy, or some people just want to know, like, Susan, I don't even know where this is coming from or who this is. So let's talk about some quick and simple ways you can figure out who's doing the talking. And I would also just add to this, because I didn't mention this, but I will add to this that another thing is, people think, what if it's me? What if I'm just making all this up, right? Let's talk about that right off the bat, because it's not you. How you know it's you is if it's fear. Well, actually, they're just reminding me. Sorry, I'm channeling this. My last video was fear or intuition. Which is it? So you can watch my last video, fear or intuition. That really goes into the difference between, is this me, my brain, my ego talking to me, or is this really non-physical, meaning my spirit guides, my angelic friends, or even my higher self? So watch that video for more information for that angle. Okay, we're going to get into this. We're going to talk about just these three. We're going to talk about spirit guides, higher self, and the angelic realm. Let's start with the higher self. If the way I like to describe the higher self, SELF, is, if you think of, you have and I'm going to simplify this. Again, I've got lots of videos where you can really dive into these topics, okay? But let's think that you have incarnated multiple times. Now, not to get too deep, but there's also a thought that we have multiple lives at once. There's multiple yous running around. Yes, I have a video about that. This is all free, by the way, on my YouTube channel. So your higher self is the captain of the team. Your higher self is the part of you. Let's just take a fragment, one tiny fragment of your consciousness, and it stays up there in the control panel, the control room, all the time. No matter if you're incarnated into 5 lifetimes right now, or if you're just doing this one lifetime right now, it doesn't matter. That part of you called the higher self, sometimes it's called the over soul, that part is always up there. It's always connected and seated into the divine. That part of you, that little fragment of your consciousness, it knows all of your past lives. It knows your soul's destiny. It knows your soul's path. It knows everything. So when I talk to my higher self, which frankly, I don't do that often, because in my experience, it is a very no nonsense energy, and it's very direct. And sometimes, because it sees so much, it can be a little too broad in a sense. If you think about seeing your hometown from an airplane, from a jet, it looks very different than seeing it from the tallest building in your little town or your big town, which is very different from seeing it from your own roof, which is very different from seeing it from your sidewalk. So for me, the higher self, the oversoul, that is like seeing your hometown, in this case, your life, from 30,000 feet in the air. Sometimes that's very helpful, but other times it's a little too broad of a perspective. Okay. So your higher self has it's really your divine inner wisdom and soul consciousness. It is the key. It is the captain of the team, right? So sometimes it can feel like a deep inner knowing. It can feel like truth without words. The tone that it takes is it's more calm, it's neutral, it's very wise. I would just say it's very wise. It's also very dry, right? So the energy feels like you, but on spiritual steroids, is what I would say. You're highly removed from the intricacies of human experience. When it speaks to you during meditation, or when you're getting a message during meditation or journaling or moments of stillness, that's when it can come through. Now, in my opinion, this has been my experience. My experience is you have to dial up, you have to email, you have to text your higher self and say, I would like to get some guidance from you. In my experience, your higher self doesn't get involved. Again, it's this 30,000 feet in the air view. It's not your everyday kind of the everyday steps or interactions in your life. The purpose of it, being the captain of the ship, is, or the coach even. Coach is not on the field or on the court. The coach is on the sidelines, and the players come and talk to the coach. The players could be all of your lives that are running concurrently. I know that's a lot. Or it could just be you. You go to the sidelines and you talk to your coach. And the coach says, this is our objective for the season. So that's kind of how I see that. Definitely worth doing. How can you do it? You can go into a meditation. I mean, you can look on YouTube for meditations, but really, I feel like guided meditations are very helpful. If you're not a person who meditates all the time, a guided meditation can be helpful because your brain has not been retrained to be quiet. And that takes a long time. That's not something that's going to happen over the course of a week or a day or even a year. So what I find helps is listening to a guided meditation to get my brain to go to sleep. So the brain is listening to the story. And then the brain's like, okay, I'm tired. I'm going to take a nap. Your subconscious, which is what you use, in my opinion, to connect to your higher source, to your higher self, or to your spirit guides, or to your angels. Your brain doesn't really allow that connection to happen very easily. So we want to find a way to put our brain to the side and allow our subconscious to connect to the ethers, to our higher self. So however you want to meditate is fine. Once you get into that meditative state, what I do is then I say, I would like a message from my higher self. I believe, because I know this from experience, if you say, I just would like a message, 9 times out of 10, the message you're going to get is you are loved. And that's a beautiful message. I'm not saying that's not beautiful, because it is, because that is the truth. You're loved unconditionally by all of these entities. They love you unconditionally. So if you ask for a general message, you're going to probably get a general answer. So if you ask for a more specific question, I would like some guidance in regards to my soul path. I would like some specific guidance in regards to this relationship. And you would want to talk about your side of the relationship. If you ask any of these three different types of guides that we're going to be talking about today, if you ask any of them for advice about somebody else, you're not going to be successful. For one thing, we don't really have permission to talk to their guides. And it's sort of the guides are telling me it's none of our business. What we can control is us. So then we would say, okay, what do I need to know for my highest good in regards to this relationship that I'm in? What do I need to know about me and my side of the relationship? Then you might get information. You might get knowings. You might get a lot of things. You might just get one or two things. Be grateful for anything that you get. If you don't get anything, ask that this information be given to you when you're ready to receive it. It might be in a dream. It might be an aha moment when you're in the shower. Sometimes our brain is still engaged enough, or sometimes we don't really want to know what our higher self is going to say. In my experience, the higher self is very dry, is very. I remember one time really being at the end of my rope with a situation and doing a meditation and talking to my higher self. And what I do a lot of times is just get my phone and I voice record so that I can just, let it come out. And I remember reading it back a day later going, my God, where did this come from? It was so on point, but it was also sort of take no prisoners. It was like very dry, like this is what's going on. And no fluff, this is what's going on. So that's my take on the higher self. Absolutely worth talking to your higher self, but understand it could be an elevated perspective that might be too broad for you. Also understand that it's going to give you the unfettered truth. It's not going to sugarcoat anything. So that's good, but just so you know, that's the angle that you're probably going to get. The next, spirit guides. I love my spirit guides. I mean, I love all three of these. These are your team. And for humans to go through their incarnation without their team is really sad. This is a huge boost to your life and into the, I want to say the word success, but they don't want me to say that word because it's not a judgment. But for me, being a human, I can say success because your life is just easier when you are in the flow of guidance. Okay, spirit guides. Let me tell you briefly, you have a spirit guide assigned to you at birth. Okay, everybody has one. Nobody gets away without having a spirit guide. Some people tell me, I don't think I have one. You have one, trust me. Some of us have 3, 4, 5 spirit guides. Something else I learned about spirit guides is that as you learn, they're learning. They're growing with you. So it's a beautiful symbiotic. Actually, all three of these different types of energies are symbiotic. Everything about the human experience is meant to be synchronicity and flow and symbiosis. So I learn, you learn, I heal, you heal. And so spirit guides are with you and learning with you, experiencing with you. There can be opportunities for you to grow in your, not only in your spiritual energy or spiritual awareness, but just grow in your evolution of your soul, that you could then have a new spirit guide assigned to you, one that is specifically calibrated for that frequency, which is amazing. Now, these are your spirit guides. They're, in my opinion, there's helpers. I can ask for a temporary helper. Some people you may know have parking spot angels or parking spot spirit guides. There is no job that would be too small. They love, love, love working with us. So if you have a project, if you're struggling with work, ask for an angel or a spirit guide to come in and help you with that. Ask for an angel or a spirit guide to come in with a remodeling project, with a physical health situation, any situation at all. You can ask for an additional helper or angel to come in and help you with that. The spirit guides, I don't think any of us, any humans, can say without a doubt, unequivocally, that we have all the answers. These are my experiences. Use your discernment to decide if you feel like if this fits for you or not. In my experience, spirit guides have been human before. They've walked human times in a human body. This makes them able to understand our unique situation. Our higher self, never been human, doesn't really understand it from this perspective. Your spirit guides understand it from this perspective. They understand all the unique things that humans get to experience, from hunger and taste and thirst to passion to grief to elation to embarrassment. They've experienced these unique human emotions, and they're better able to guide us because of it. Now, typically, also, your spirit guide is someone that you have incarnated with or knew at that time. And this could be 500 years ago, 200 years ago, 100 years ago. It doesn't have to be this last incarnation, but it is someone typically that you have a connection to in some way. What else do I want to tell you about spirit guides? They communicate to you in a way that you best receive the information. What that means is, for me, I like to laugh. I don't mind laughing at myself. I don't denigrate myself. I don't put myself down, but I think things are funny. And for that reason, my spirit guides will say funny things to me or laugh. And that's what my spirit guides do. If you're a person who's very serious or you have a dry sense of humor, you're going to get that kind of connection. They're not going to put a very close celestial energy that's working with you that's very different from you, because you're not going to be able to communicate well. And it's all about the frequency and the vibration. So if my vibration is funny and happy and whatever you want to say, then a vibration that would be better connection for me. Okay, so if you find that you don't understand why my spirit guides are funny or whatever and yours aren't, that's because your frequency, this is the best frequency to match you. Okay, so that's important too, because some people think spirit guides wouldn't be funny or wouldn't, or they're saying that's irreverent, but it's not. Nothing is irreverent. Hate would be irreverent for them. That's the only thing that they would find to be irreverent. That would make them very sad. Is there anything else I need? You can ask spirit guides, your spirit, there's helpers, we talked about that, but your spirit guides. Well, your spirit guides know your soul path. Before you popped out of that baby, out of that womb, you made a plan with your spirit guides. And you said, in this lifetime, I want to do these things. I want to experience these things. And my goal is to do this. Now, I have to tell you that they're not all that, they're pretty good about keeping you aware of your goals. But because they told me one time, oh, humans' lives are so short, You can do that goal in your next life. You can take a couple of lifetimes to get that done. And I was like, oh no, we don't. We're going to get that done in this lifetime, right? But to them, it's like, yeah, you guys have quick lives. You just cycle right through your lives, and then you just keep working on the same goal, perfecting it and learning and experiencing. It's about the journey. It's not about the goal, because the journey is where you pick up all of the learning, all of the experiences. You become better. If you learned it in one fell swoop, what did you learn? You really only learned a little bit. But if you tried and failed, or tried and stalled out, or tried and got success, but then something happened, you're learning through all of that. You're learning through the stall, you're learning through the failure, you're learning through the success. All of those create a more rich soul experience versus than hitting the home run or doing it all at one time. That isn't really getting you the most bang for your buck, is what they're saying. But they do know your goals. They do help you with your goals, and they can, in my experience, the good energies, all the ones I'm talking about today, they do not cross your free will. They're just not going to make you do something that you didn't. You came here to be free. You came here to really experience it. Like a toddler, if you continually protect the toddler, they're never going to learn to walk, because to learn to walk, they're going to have to fall down. I mean, it's just part of it. So they're going to let us fall down. They're going to let us, crash out or whatever, because that's part of the experience of learning. We're never going to learn if we don't get challenged, if we don't have an occasional failure. Now, also with spirit guides, this has been my experience that there's only a few times when they cross over your free will, and that is around your soul path, or that whatever that goal is that you made and you told your spirit guides, these are the two things. This is the one thing. They will, if you take a long time or you're just getting way off into the weeds, they'll kind of help you get back on track. Now, sometimes that can be something that we think is bad. Like, okay, I was overworking and I wasn't listening to the warning signs. I wasn't paying attention. And then I fell down and broke my foot, and then I couldn't work. No, that's them saying, okay, let's help her out. She's not getting it. Let's intervene and help her. To them, it's helping, right? Is there anything else I need to tell you about spirit guides? They got your back. They're always on your side. They love you unconditionally. There's nothing you can do to make them not be on your side. Nothing. Zero, nothing. Everybody has spirit guides. Everybody. Okay. Let's talk about angels quickly. I love angelic energy, but for whatever reason, I just don't call on them as much as I would like to. But we're going to talk about it today, so that's good. Angels, oh my gosh, they are, again, so yeah, they're reminding me. Angels are for everybody, not just Christians, or not just for any particular type of person. They're free agents, as I like to say. They'll work with anybody, and they're thrilled to do it. Thrilled to do it. As a matter of fact, it's their honor. They're telling me it's our honor to work with humans. And if you just put the intention in it, it will happen. So you might just, after this video, decide, I'm going to try to connect with each of these three non-physical, beautiful, magical, celestial energies that are here to help me. And you might just decide that one week I'm going to try to connect with my higher self. The next week I'm going to try to connect with my spirit guides. And the next week I'm going to try to connect with with an angel. And you can connect with all three of these through the meditation, because otherwise it's kind of hard to get around your brain. But you, especially with the spirit guides and especially with the angels, you can ask for signs, not so much with your higher self in my experience, but with your spirit guides and angels, you can ask for, show me a sign. You can leave it wide open, or you can say, can you show me a repeating number in the next week? Can you show me something yellow? Can you show me a heart in some way? And then be open, because the heart can show up in any way. It can be a pattern on the concrete. It can be something that you see somebody wearing. It can come in any way possible, because there's no bookends to their abilities to connect with us. Okay. So angels are, their energy is very light, as you might imagine. The spirit guides, I would just say that of the three, for some reason, the angelic energy is a lighter energy. And there's a sense of love and grace, and sometimes humor, actually, with angels as well. They have a very high frequency. They have a real sense of humor. They're great they're great as healers. They're, if you want to call on the angelic realm to heal, that is one of their specialties. But they're not beyond finding you a parking spot. They're not beyond helping you with mental anguish or depression, and I'm not saying that any of these things are a substitute for mental health professionals. All the things I'm sharing with you today are simply additional to what you would normally do, which is go to your doctor, your therapist. This is not medical advice, okay? Angelic energy is, so right, angels would not have incarnated with you. Most of them have not incarnated on earth, so they don't know what that feels like. But for that reason, they can lift you up. They can actually elevate your energy. They're not heavy. They're not earth connected. So they can really sort of, you can ask for a flock of angels to come and lift you up, and they will do it. And they will 100% do it. You are surrounded by light. You are surrounded by love. When would you call on an angel? For me personally, when I think about that, I get healing and I get clearing of energy. That's a really good point. Your spirit guides can clear your energy and or protect you, but in my experience, it's more archangels and angels that do that. If I'm removing something, if I'm cutting cords, or I'm removing an energy from me or an energy from my surroundings, my physical surroundings, you understand that you've left a hole. But if you remove something, then it's not there anymore. Then there's sort of an energetic hole there. I call in angels, and the angels come in and repair that. Angels can be connected to through music. And even if you don't like this kind of music, or you do like this kind of music, it's very simple to just pull up on YouTube some harp music or celestial. They're just telling me, if you Google celestial music, that would be music that they are attracted to. And if you want to communicate to angels, you can just simply ask any three of these celestial beings in your mind. I would like to have a message from my higher self. I would like to have a message from my spirit guide. I would like to have a message from the angelic realm, where I would like an angel to speak with me. You can also do that through music, especially with the angels. You can use the celestial or harp music and just play it for just a minute, just to connect to that energy, and then ask for a sign, a symbol, a message. Now, some people, they're reminding me, they're telling me a message. Sometimes when I'm busy in my brain, and I think I know this, I think I know, what the answer is? My brain is always in control. When we meditate, it gives those other beautiful celestial energies a chance to communicate to us without the interference of the brain. But if you can't do that, you can always use cards. So there's oracle cards that are angel oriented. So you can buy a deck of angel cards and you can communicate with the angelic realm through any. It doesn't matter. It's really truly up to you and what you're connecting to, what feels resonant with you. But you could get a deck of any kind of angel oracle cards for your spirit guides. You could use tarot cards. You could use oracle cards. You simply make the intention with this card reading. I want a message from my spirit guide for your higher self. I think you could do the same thing. I've never done it. It's never even occurred to me. I've seen people use angel cards, but I have used cards to talk to my spirit guides whenever I'm, overthinking and overanalyzing and they can't get a word in edgewise. But I'm going to just ask for a message from my higher self. And I'm going to put my intention straight up into the heavens. I'm gonna just, whereas my spirit guides right here, the angelic realm is all around me, but my higher self is in the skyscraper in the sky. It's way up there. That's where I'm going to send my intention, to my higher self. If my higher self could give me one card as a message today, right now, what would that one card as a message for Susan, for her highest good in her life at this time? Do you see how I'm trying to be a little bit more specific, right? And the message that I pulled was the Chariot card. Again, I'm not a tarot person because I normally just talk to the spirit guides myself, but the Chariot card, and let's see what it says, because my tarot cards have a cheat sheet on them. It has the actual definition on the cards, and you can find these on Etsy. You can just look for tarot cards with keywords, and that will show up. The message from my higher self is, and I'm doing this like right now with you guys, thank God it wasn't terrible. Victory, overcoming obstacles, success, ambition, determination, willpower, control, self-discipline, triumphant progress, single-mindedness, mastery, courage, and skill. Again, these are just keywords. It's not a reading. It's like when you get this card, these are the keywords that are associated with this card. It's very interesting because before I did this video, I was just kind of having a situation where I was like, oh, I personally want this outcome, but it's not happening. And it's kind of buggered up, and it's kind of like it's all balled up. And I'm like, okay, that's not good, right? That probably means that I might be having too much ego or too much willpower in this direction. And I was pulling my energy back to go to neutral, right? Let me start over again. I went on this trip and I got into a dead end. I didn't take the right turns, or I took the right turns that I thought were the right turns, but it turns out I didn't know where I was going. So I got into a dead end. So what do? You turn around and come back to neutral. So bringing all my energy back to neutral. Okay. And now from this neutral position, I want to ask, where do I go? Instead of, I already made the decision, I'm going over here, and now why isn't it working? Do you see the difference? When you bring your energy back to zero, then you can say, okay, I'm open to all of the potentials. I'm going to reset everything back to zero so that I can get better guidance instead of overthinking guidance. Okay, so that's interesting. So you can use the cards. You could use a pendulum, I guess, if you wanted to. You always need to have your intention that you're going to talk to your higher self. You're going to talk to your spirit guides. You're going to talk to your Uncle Fred. You're going to talk to your angelic realm. If you just say, I want a message, then any random Tom, Dick, or Harry spirit could step in and give you that message. And that wouldn't be from your spirit guides. Okay. So we always want to be intentional. And that's why I thought this video would be helpful to help you understand the difference between the three and kind of how their voices are different or how their personalities are different. I hope this was helpful for you. Please let me know in the comments. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a spiritual way shower, and I do these videos every single Wednesday. So you can look on this YouTube channel and you can see there's several videos here that'll help you on your way during this incarnation, during this lifetime. I feel like in some ways I'm the spiritual, I'm the liaison, they're saying, between humans and the spirit world. That's why on my other YouTube channel, my name is Susan Lynn Spiritual Navigator, because I kind of navigate between the spiritual worlds and the human worlds, right? On this channel, I'm Susan Lynn Way Shower. Same person. Basically, they do the same things, way showing and spiritual navigating, both things. And they're both, interestingly enough, kind of chariot, their transportation, their travel. It's interesting that my higher self gave me this. This is more interesting than we think. You know what? This is what I'm saying about your higher self. Your higher self is the ultimate authority on your life. But at the same time, it's going to be 30,000 feet in the air. It's going to be hard to understand. But I mean, this actually means a lot to me, because I've just gotten a lot of messages recently about my life. And this makes more sense than I ever could think that it does. So you get these messages, you get these signs, symbols, and you chew on them, you turn them around, you look at them from this direction, you look at them from this direction, you look at them from above, from below. You want to take all the things and look at them from 360 degrees and be curious. That's how you're really going to get the most out of this life journey. Thanks again for watching. Thanks for subscribing, liking, sharing. I really appreciate you. If you're interested, I do have an online community, and I have a free one. So check it out on my website, SusanLynnMedium.com. The free community is Lighthouse Keepers Crew, because the lighthouse is the beacon that draws the ships out of the stormy waters into the cove. It's completely free. There's thousands of people hanging out, supporting each other, talking to each other. It is a community. I do have another community that is a paid community. It is $12 a month. I'm there with you 3 times a month doing readings. If you would like a reading with me, this is the only way to get it. And I have another event with you where I do a Soul Growth Sunday, which is really popular. And my third event, I bring in an outside presenter that gives you a 1-hour class. That's 3 events a month for $12 a month. Plus, you get to talk to the 2,000 people that are there, hanging out, supporting each other, showing each other card pulls. I mean, it's really a community. It's like a whole city. And you can join and cancel anytime you want. But you can learn more about that and my well-respected and popular newsletter and any classes and events that I have coming up on my website, SusanLynnMedium.com. Take really good care. I'll see you again next Wednesday.